Hey guys, RTT back here for that video. Guys, today we have some really cool renders that actually were produced by Warlick Can HD. I think that's how you say his name. I'll leave a link down below in the description. He actually also did renders way back in the day for the Surface Duo 2. So this man just loves making renders. I will go ahead and leave his Twitter and YouTube down below. But this is actually what the Google Pixel Fold could actually look like. Now, I made a video around a couple days ago talking about the specs, the release dates, all that kind of stuff. We do know that this will most likely go ahead and actually be teased sometime next month. So Google Pixel has an event next month. Most likely they're going to be showing off the Google Pixel 6. And with that being said, they're probably going to also tease this foldable phone. So this should be quite the exciting time for the Google lineup, as they are going to be entering in on the foldable phone market. Now, starting off right away, this looks a lot like the Fold 3. And I know, to be honest, a lot of foldable phones are probably going to look a lot like the Fold 3. Microsoft's actually going a little bit on a different route, continuing to look more like the Surface Duo 1, rather than kind of copy and paste the Fold 3. But it looks like this is kind of in that same ballpark. So I will say one thing though, when I first saw this and now seeing it more of a render, I will say that it kind of reminds me not of the Fold 3, but actually of the Fold 1. That outer display is definitely not going to be a full 6.2 inch body to display ratio, which what we saw in the Fold 3 and the Fold 2. The Fold 1 was kind of more or less like how this looks, where there is a lot more bezels around it. Now, that's going to be interesting to see, because the biggest issue with the Fold 1 was actually the display not being that good. Now, if the Google Pixel Fold is like the Fold 1, then it will go ahead and fail. It might be cheaper, but it will fail just like the Fold 1. In a way, it did fail. It didn't completely fail, but it was... obviously the display was breaking for a lot of people. Now, the Fold 2 fixed that completely. The Fold 3 perfected that. So if there is two more generations I have to go through before the Google Pixel Fold ends up being a good phone, I wouldn't be surprised, because we saw the same concept happen with the Fold 3. Nonetheless, though, as we can see right here, we do have a triple camera setup on the back here. We also have a flash, and we have what looks like a microphone port. Now, the one thing I will say that is different than the Fold 3 is where the camera is set up on the actual front display and the middle display. So what we saw with the Fold 3 is the camera is actually right dab in the middle on the front display, while on the Google Pixel it's actually on the right hand corner. So right here, as you guys can see with the Fold 3, the camera is right here, not dab in the middle, but on the, a little bit to the left of the middle, while at this phone is actually in the right hand corner. And on the outer display, rather than being straight down in the middle like this phone is, it's actually in the left hand corner. I will say that the one reason why that interests me is because, yes, it's most likely going to be an under display camera for the inner display, but it is kind of in a good position. So I will say, with the Fold 3, although yes, it is a beautiful phone, and yes, this under display camera goes away completely when you're utilizing it in like watching media, I don't really like it being right there, though. I would rather, honestly, it be in the corner. Now, that might be a little bit different. It might be weirder when you're going ahead and, let's say, doing a video call, a conference call like this. You might have a little bit of issues of it being in the corner. But I don't know. I just feel like it definitely looks a little bit better in the corner, being out of the way and not, getting in your way. Now, I will say, though, for the middle... obviously right there, the camera up doesn't look too bad. Now, this is of course just a render. This is not the actual full leaked pictures. Keep that in mind, just a render. But I will say, if the camera bump is that big, it looks smaller than the Surface Duo, but at the same time, it doesn't look that bad. I will definitely say that. Now, look at some other pictures we have here. Yes, it's going to look very similar to what the Fold 3 looks like, with that foldable glass right down the middle there. Will there be a screen protector? Yeah, most likely. Now, I will say other things that we can expect from this is, of course, different colors. And we can also expect just typical things from the Fold 3. We're probably going to see a 4400 milliamp battery, right? That's number one. We're probably going to see a fingerprint reader or maybe facial recognition of some kind. Most likely either one or both. I would probably think we're going to see both. We're going to obviously see USB-C. We're probably going to see waterproofing of some kind. Will they get IP IPX8. We have to wait and see, because even Microsoft hasn't perfected that with the Surface Duo 2. That only has an IPX1. So I'm not sure if they're going to perfect it enough to get the IPX8. But I will say that if this phone does, I've said this in my video before, if this phone can come in at a price tag of what the Flip 3 comes in at $999, this phone could be an absolute instant success and might outsell the Fold 3. It all depends on the price tag. The price tag is the biggest thing, because right now the biggest issue with a lot of people with these foldable phones, $1799 for the Fold 3, $1499 for the Surface Duo 2. Flip 3 is more affordable at $999, but it has battery life issues, and some people don't like the fact it's a flip. They like to have the idea of the foldable phone. If they can make this a lot less expensive, this phone could be very, very successful. So obviously this is more of a wider angle shot. We see that beautiful, what looks like 7-inch display. Another thing I'm going to be interested in seeing if this is 120 hertz panels on both screens, or if it's going to be a 60 hertz, because that's something we saw at the Fold 3, 120 hertz panels across the board, while the Surface Duo 2 does have 90 hertz. If this is 60 hertz, that will definitely take down a little bit. I don't think it will take it down too much when it comes to, being able to sell and being a great performer. But I will say that will definitely hurt it a tad bit. And then right here we have another look at it. And again, like I said, yes, it looks a lot like the Fold 3, and it's going to look a lot like the Fold 3. I honestly, based on what I'm saying, based on what the sources are saying, Google's not trying to go ahead and create a new device in a way. They're not trying to go out there and reinvent the wheel. At the Fold 3, which was a very successful selling device, a very insane profit margins Samsung made off this phone, why would they not just go ahead and copy and paste the same concept but with their phone? And if they can make it cheaper, which it looks like they might be able to, they can go and make huge profits and be the #1 person in the world when it comes to affordable phones, if they can make it cheap enough. Now, I did get a comment recently. Somebody said that, this is the chance for foldable phones to really get to the retail space, right? Get to the more flagship type space. And this really is, honestly. This device right here could launch us into a lot more of a foldable phone future, right? Because if this is successful, now you have this phone that's foldable, Surface Duo 2, you have the Galaxy Fold 3, you have the Flip 3, you're kind of just starting to create a market. And what was a niche market is now becoming a glorified, everybody's creating these phones. Now, we do know on the Apple side, because yes, everything will eventually run through Apple. Apple is kind of taking a step back and saying, listen, we're not going to go ahead and really care about the foldable phone. Now, they did create a prototype of a flippable phone that kind of looks like the Z Flip. And then they said, you know what? Fluff that. We're just going to go ahead and wait. We're going to go ahead and not, put all resources into this. They actually went ahead and pushed it back to 2024 and said, we're not going to go ahead and really put all time and energy into this. And to be honest, it makes sense, because if Apple makes a flippable phone, it's probably going to be $2,500, $3,000, and people are just simply not going to want to go for it. While this phone right here, the Google Pixel Fold, could come in at a price tag maybe of anywhere from $900 to $1,200, and if they can get that nice little price tag, we could be really talking about a lot of affordable phones in the future. And who knows, maybe then Apple will go ahead and get into the party and get excited about it. But guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, because there's just so many things I'm thinking right now when it comes to the ideas of this foldable phone by Google. And there's certain things I want to see, right? I want to see a Snapdragon 888 processor, obviously, updated processor. If we can get 12 gigabytes of RAM on this, that would be amazing. NFC would be amazing. Wireless charging would be amazing. I'm just thinking about all the things the Fold 3 has, and then if they could put that on this phone. But again, maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe, we can just get more of a budgety fold phone, and that could all be good in the end. But tell me down below, guys, your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.